I hear a lot about culture wars happening in the United States. We got a big culture war going on. Ron DeSantis is fighting a culture war, and the left, they're fighting a culture war. And I don't see a war. What I see is culture bullying. What I mean by that is we have an entire wing of a political system trying to legislate certain people out of existence, trying to make it to where you can't learn anything about them, trying to make it to where you can't speak about them at schools, even universities in the case of Ron DeSantis. Uni-fucking-versities, places where you go electively and you pay to go. You can't teach this and this and this. No critical race theory, nothing that's woke, none of that stuff, because we don't want people to know about the LGBTQ community. We don't want people to know about the validity of trans people's genders. We just want to live in this nice, neat, white little bubble. So if I do call any of these right-wingers in the United States fascists, at least I have good reason to call them fascists, because they fucking are. These are not culture wars that we are living in. This is just culture bullying. And you got these people standing in the middle who are like, oh, both sides have merit. What? What's meritorious about a curriculum where you can't learn about anything concerning critical race theory, where you can't learn about anything that some right-wing asshole doesn't want your kids to know? Why doesn't it scare you that your government is trying to stifle so many things? Does it not make you curious that these things are being banned? You remember when you were a kid and your mommy told you that you couldn't do this or that because it was bad, and it just made you more curious and you went off and did it anyway? Why don't you have that same kind of curiosity about your government? Because you're fucking stupid. And I know people don't like that. I know people don't like it when you bring up the words stupid and dumb and idiotic and imbecilic and moronic. I know that, but what is happening right now in the United States with these supposed culture wars, which is just cultural bullying from the right, it's not nice. What's happening is not pretty. It's severe. It's fucking horrifying. So I will act accordingly. And I really, really wish more people on the left would act a little bit more vociferously when it comes to this stuff, because the reason that the right wins when it comes to these stupid fucking things all the time is because they're willing to look stupid. They are willing to be stupid so that stupid people vote for them. And in the United States, well, if it's stupid people versus everybody else, stupid people are going to win every single time. It's a very gross oversimplification, probably. But what other explanation do you have for things like don't say gay, right? Like, we can't tell our kids anything about the LGBTQ community because it might hurt them somehow. I mean, these are people who have already been on the margins of society forever. It's the same with critical race theory. Well, why do we got to teach critical race theory? Why don't we have white race theory? I don't know, maybe because these races who aren't white have been historically judged and demonized and lynched and murdered and falsely imprisoned forever just based on the color of their skin. And all of these people that the right are going after, they're going after them based on things that they were born with, based on things that these people cannot control. That is peak stupidity. That is not right. So, of course, the left is going to try to implement some things that might help people see them a little bit more and see them as valid. What's so wrong with that? What is so bad about that? These people are valid human beings and they want you to know that. The other side, the right-wingers, they don't want you to know that. So that's why they pass anti-critical race theory bills. That's why they pass bills that legislate what your kids can and can't learn in regards to social issues. You can learn about all the white stuff, about all the Latin American stuff, all the African American stuff, about how America's a great big melting pot and togetherness is what wins. No, can't have any of that. Can't have any of that. These are not culture wars. It's not a war. It's bullying. One side is being pummeled by another side, and it's the way it's been for the longest time. Any piece of legislation that has ever been passed that has gone to demean, demoralize, or even just stifle a sector of society that is seen as, you know, even like drag queens. We got this thing in America now where people think that if drag queens talk to their kids, they're gonna poison them with their ideology. It's like, some of you people send your kids to Catholic school. Some of you people leave your kids, you know, somewhere with priests. Are you fucking kidding me? But you're so worried about the trans people, or you're so worried about you're so worried about drag queens reading a book to your kid. Wow. Again, what else but stupidity and bigotry and ignorance? I cannot use nice terms when it comes to these things. These people exist. They are valid. And that's what critical theory is, race theory is about. And that is what being so vociferous against these anti-woke, don't say gay bills is all about. It's about their survival. These people don't care about their survival. One bit, one iota, one teensy tiny milligram. They would rather they not exist or just simply not be heard from because insert reason here, because their lifestyle is counter to our lifestyle. That's usually what it boils down to. A lot of this shit that's happening, especially with regards to trans people, like these people are literally trying to legislate them out of existence. If a right-winger were to actually sit down and have a talk with a trans person and hear about their story and the things that they've had to go through and the hardships that they've had to endure and the things that they've had to overcome and the obstacles that they have had to hurdle over that a straight white guy hasn't even had to think about, they might just change their tune a little bit. They might just go, oh, this is why you guys have been fighting so hard to be seen and heard in society and seen as equals, because these are things that you were born with. Because nobody chooses to make themselves a way that's just going to get them heckled and yelled at and even bullied or killed by people who just never took the time to learn or who don't want to learn. And that's what all this anti-woke stuff is about. We don't want to learn. When I hear some politician or some fucking goober from America saying, CRT is awful, and my kids, and it ain't about your kids, Jethro. It ain't about anything. It ain't about freedom. It certainly isn't about freedom, and it ain't about limited government or any of that sort of stuff. You just don't want to learn. It's not a culture war. It's cultural bullying. You fucking right-wingers suck. You are trying to legislate people out of existence. You've been doing it for decades. And you think that the people in the LGBTQ community or the, people of color, you know, that their stories are not as valid as your stories. The stories that have been told for the entirety of the existence of the United States of America. You just can't give the floor to somebody else. And it's either because you're stupid or it's because you've been told by a stupid person that this is the way things should be. And it's very fucking unfortunate. But a culture war it does not make. You are bullying these fucking people. Like you always have been.